Welcome back to the FC Smorgon with me, Looney Loser 17. Okay, it's been a couple months now, and the season is now over. So, did I get back to Europe? We finally started to find some form at the last update after European play had started. Um, it's unclear, actually, if we're getting Europe or not next season. Why is that? We ended up finishing fourth in the league. Well, that means my spot is dependent on the winner of the Belarusian Cup. Fortunately, I am still involved in the Belarusian Cup, so I can actually help try to defend my spot. If you look at the straight math, there is a 37.5% chance that I will be the fourth spot because Shakhtar Sologorsk and Dynamo Minsk, who finished top two in the league, are also both still in the Belarusian Cup. Bate has, however, been eliminated. Realistically, though, it's actually probably closer to 50%, though I wouldn't necessarily want to put a precise percentage on it, because there are actually two teams in the quarterfinals, Smovici and Volna Pinsk, that are actually second-tier sides, or at least were. This is actually wasn't the way I thought. Volna Pinsk is actually coming up as a promoted side. So it'll actually end up looking like 7, but still slightly under 50% chance that it's me. However, Volna Pinsk is going to have a tough ask. They get Shakhtar Sologorsk in their quarterfinal. While I get Dynamo Brest. Dynamo Minsk plays Torpedo Zodino. You would expect Dynamo Minsk to win that, but that one could be pretty close. Smovici gets Slavia Mozir, bottom half side. That one could be interesting. A couple seasons ago, there was a second-tier side that went all the way to the semifinals. However, during this save, no second-tier side has gone to the final, which is why I'm discounting to a degree the second-tier sides that are remaining, or second-tier side. I think I was about 6th a couple months ago when I did the last update. So how did I get up to 4th? And I ended up only 1 point behind Bate, but 1 point ahead of Minsk. So how did we get to that point? So when league play resumed there in October, 4-1 win over Sputnik Regista. Convincing performance. We actually went 4-0 up. Gazmi and Kozl both with braces for us. Finally came back home, beat Gomel 2-0. Gomel was around the European race at that point. Finally got the breakthrough. Kozl scored in the 60th minute. Timofeev came off the bench, added an 82nd minute insurance goal. This ended up being one of the more important matches away to Vitebsk. Vitebsk were very much in the European race at this point. Kozl scores from the spot, 8th minute. Vitebsk find a late first half equalizer in first half stoppage time. We were the better side, but we couldn't find the breakthrough to find a winner. A +5 shows up on the board for second half stoppage time. We get a goal basically at the death. Kozul again off a corner that wasn't quite cleared in the 95th minute. That's one of the matches I'll actually show, so you can actually see that goal. However, we followed that up a couple days later by dropping points we really couldn't afford to drop. Away to Arsenal Zerzansk, who I believe stayed up through the relegation playoff. At least that gives you an idea where in the league they were. Remus scores from the spot, 32nd minute. They answer a couple minutes later. Again, we controlled the match. We didn't play well, frankly. Remus was the only player above a 7, and there were a lot of 6-3, 6-4, 6-5s. So a couple week break again. League leader Shakhtar Sologorsk came to visit. They had bottled a chance to lock up the league the match day before, so they had a title to play for. They did not celebrate on our pitch. They went 2-0 up. They had been the better side, admittedly. We clawed our way back. Kruglania in the 67th minute got us on the board. Mironov hammers home an equalizer in the 83rd minute. Big point. And I believe we were still in. No, we had dropped to 5th after that result because Minsk had won. Final day, we get a big win over Dinamo Brest, 3-1. We'd gone 3-0 up behind a Kozlo brace and then an own goal, all before halftime. They get a consolation goal a little past the hour mark. Finish the season with a nice win. And like I said, ended up finishing 4th. Didn't trigger any of our accumulation bans either, which was nice. I've actually played a little bit past the end of the season. It may not be as obvious since there's the Belarusian Cup quarterfinal showing up as the next match. I've actually played far enough ahead that the sponsorship money has come in, and our sponsorship deals actually went up pretty significantly. For this season, it was basically 555,000. Next, for the season that's upcoming, we're making 800, basically 807,500. So that's about $250,000 jump in sponsorship revenue, which boosted our finances actually from insecure to okay. The youth intake had also come in. Wasn't really much to get excited about. The only guy I signed out of the intake was that this year? Yeah, this is this year's. Okay, double checking myself there for a moment. Oleg Saravanici. Sorry if I butchered that pronunciation. 16-year-old Belarusian, resolute personality, so good personality there. The acceleration needs some work, but decent pace for a right back. Marking, tackling, not terrible. Mentals aren't bad in the right places. Crossing needs a bit of work, but the acceleration and some of the physicals are what really need the work first. The fact that Bate would like to get this guy in says he was a good signing to make out of my academy. And I'm not sure who the other side's a Romanian side that's interested in him. Most of these guys are actually here just because I gave them availability for like their last reserve match of the season. A number of them aren't actually reserve players. As far as contracts go at this point, I only have a couple of players that have deals expire this month. One of those is Andrei Mishenko, the Russian left back that I loaned in here mid-season. I'd like to bring him back because he'd still be considered under U21 Belarusian next season, I believe. However, his contract with Lokomotiv Moscow ends in June, so the longest I would be able to extend his loan for at this point would be March. So there's no point in renewing that loan right now. The others up for, whose contracts run out at the end of this month, Kirill Pekhamov. I'm going to let him walk. There's clubs interested in him. 26-year-old Russian player in the middle. I had him basically like as my fifth center mid. In a pinch, he could have played center back as well. Made one appearance for me over 3 years. There's really no point in bringing him back, especially because I extended the loans for both Kruglenia and Vasilevich. Kruglenia from Dinamo Minsk, Vasilevich from Bate. Both of those will still be with us on free loans next season. Roman Krovolkin is my other player whose contract runs out at the end of this month. This is a bit of a pickle because I'm having problems finding decent replacement left backs. Krovolkin's 31. So I really need to be looking at a long-term replacement. And he wants an important player, at least the last I checked. So it might be a bit hard to make this deal because he's on an important player now, and he did play a good bit this season, and he actually stayed healthy. His physicals are already starting to deteriorate, though. So he's going to become a bit of a liability in defense. That's why I think I need to, if I keep him as the backup. Since the since the wage budget isn't changing much, I might be able to try to bring in like one of a couple of young Russian left backs that I've sort of been eyeing, because I've still got like 10,000 a week in wage budget available to me. But otherwise, oh, sorry, I almost did it again. So it'll be the Vitesse match and the Shakhtar Sologorsk match I'll show the goals from. I did get a suggestion in the comments on a recent video. There's Kozlov from the spot early on to actually play live matches, play a live match periodically at least. That's actually not a terrible idea because I don't stream every match of this save. And here's the winner. They've got the equalizer. They didn't get the corner cleared. Maya Kishu would come on as a sub, flick the header across. Kozlo was there to hammer it home. But like I was saying, it's not a terrible idea, but of course, end of the season, there's not actually a match to play at this point. So here's the goals from the Shakhtar Sologorsk match. Remember, they went up 2-0. We fought back. Corner, uncontested header, bad mistake by us. And then a free kick like that's always one that you're wary of, because it'll take a bit for your keeper to get back into position. And especially on a snowy day like this. Krugania hammered that one home. Top corner, near post. Aggressive finish. And then he's pushing ahead. Simone shot blocks. Mironov, it looked like it deflected off of somebody on its way through, which is why the keeper ended up looking so out of position on that. So that was that. Of course, finances still aren't good enough for us to try to improve our facilities or anything. So we did lead the league in goals scored. Only we're sixth best in goal as far as least goals conceded. Hence why we ended up fourth. Because if you look, we actually drew 11 matches. 8 of those were in the opening 15. A lot of times we had the lead and we couldn't close it out. Because there were 4 matches there early in that first half of the season where we conceded an equalizer inside the last 15 minutes. So, yeah, hopefully this will actually be a shorter off season because of the fact that we've actually shook the monkey off our back with the Belarusian Cup. Because the 2 legs of the quarterfinals are actually played before this league campaign starts. I do have some ideas as to what I'll be looking to sign here over the winter. Left back, like I mentioned, since Krugania and Veselevich are coming back on free loans, I don't necessarily need the left mid, center mid like I was thinking. I'm still not really all that happy with my options at right back, so I'll be sort of looking those over. And then also, for the first time in a while, I'm actually going to be looking on purpose at striker options. Where is he? Well, Boulay, the young 22-year-old striker, he's not really all that great, albeit he did actually perform on the rare opportunity where I did call on him. The bigger story, though, is Remish. He's 29. He turns 30 pretty early next season. I'm already starting to see a fall off in performance. So he's actually probably going to drop to the 3rd striker position next year, with Simone taking his place in the 11. But with his age, I need to be looking at long-term replacement solutions for him. So there is that going on, and that's actually part of the reason I was considering looking at central mid options this winter as well, because Raffleson, my captain and one of my starting center mids, also 29, turns 30 about the same time as Remish does. And I do have the couple of young center backs in the wings. And U21 Belarusians is also something I'm going to have to be looking for this offseason because I only have a couple of those. And they're actually focused in the central midfield right now. That's why I'm particularly eyeing those like U21 Russian left backs. I haven't looked at making an offer yet. I don't know if the board's going to let me put in bids for that much. And then, yeah, some of my right back options aren't all that great either. Or like Zayats is 28. He and Makarenko sort of alternated almost because neither of them really sees the position at right back. And Zook, who could play either fullback role, really isn't all that great. So there is that. So I believe I have covered everything I need to for now. Yeah, other than the fact that Punagov is not all that happy with me right now. This is the Russian center back I signed after the summer window closed. He came to me complaining since the season ended that I broke a promise about not playing him in his preferred position. I hadn't even been able to register him yet. So I had to make another promise that he'll be getting playing time in his preferred position. And I won't have much time once the season begins to show him that, yes, that's where he's going to play for me. But I'll go ahead and play the off season or through the winter offline. So I won't be streaming that either. I don't think there's enough interest in that sort of a thing currently. So the next video will actually be an off-season review. I'll actually want to play the first match of the season, the first competitive match of next season in the Belarusian Cup on my stream on Twitch. Link to that will be in the description below the video. Otherwise, I appreciate you watching the video and have a great rest of your day.